What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is I, Flowers for Leah. Thank you for coming back. Today I have something pretty funny for you guys. It is a story. My friends have heard this story a million times and they die laughing every time I tell it because it's absolutely outrageous. It's the story of probably my worst first date ever. I've had a lot of first dates and this is by far the worst one. I really wish that I was making this stuff up, the stuff that I'm about to tell you. All of this really happened. It was a mess. So yeah, so I'm gonna try my best to remember it exactly the way it happened because, you know, it was just so much going on at the time that, it was a lot. Okay, so it was my last semester of grad school and it was also the week of my 25th birthday. I wanna say it was maybe like 2 or 3 days before my actual birthday. So I was at the library, you know, I was looking cute, feeling good, you know, all that whole week I was, you know, showing out. I'm like, I'm about to be 25, you know, I gotta let these folks know I'm looking really good, feeling better. Anyway, so I'm at the library, I'm getting books and sources and everything together for my thesis paper. And I had, you know, gathered all my books together. I was about to go check out. So I was waiting for the elevator. I was on the bottom floor waiting for the elevator, and for some reason the elevator decided that it did not want to arrive on time today. So I was like, I really don't feel like taking the stairs. I have all these books in my hand. So I was like, I'll just wait for the elevator, whatever. I did have a meeting, so I was on my way to meet with 2 of my professors for my committee meeting for my project. So I was kind of in a hurry. I was like, I'm not about to be running across campus. Like, I look too cute for that. My birthday's in 2 days. No. So as I'm waiting for the elevator, I hear a voice say, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." So I'm like, huh? Who was that? Turns out it was some guy who, I guess he was passing by and he saw me. It was another student at school. So I was like, "Oh, thank you," or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm usually not that forward. Like, you just look so beautiful. I just had to say something." So I'm like, obviously he's seeing my 25-year-old glow. So, you know, duh. I was like, "Oh, thank you. That's so sweet." Mind you, the whole time this is happening, the elevator still did not come. So I'm like, what is going on? Trying not to be like awkward or anything. He wasn't a bad looking guy, not my usual type. But I was like, you know what, I'll be nice. I'm in a good mood, you know, my birthday's in a couple days, whatever. We start chatting. He starts telling me that he's a student here, like he just transferred and he was from Jersey. That was the first red flag. I should have ran when he said that. But anyway, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I really wasn't, you know, looking to date anybody at the time. I was just focused on my research paper. I was just worried about graduating. I was trying to get my paper done, get all my sources together, get to this meeting so I can go, so I can graduate and move on with my life. At this point, I'm kind of just like sucked into the conversation. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I really gotta go. Like, you know, I'm not interested, whatever. We get to talking. He's telling me he lives with his dad and just telling me like, just like little stuff. And then he's like, oh, well, can I get your number? I thought about it for a minute and I'm just like, all right, well, sure, whatever. Like I said, I was in a good mood. I was feeling nice, so why not? Another friend couldn't hurt, that's fine. He asked me how old I was and I was telling him, yeah, I'm 24. I'm literally about to turn 25 in like 2 days. He was like, I would love to take you out for your birthday. And I was like, that's actually sweet. Like, you don't know me from a can of paint, but sure. So we exchanged numbers. Everything's cool. I'm like, all right, well, he seemed like a nice guy. Maybe I could, you know, see where this possible friendship could go. So I go to my meeting, everything goes well. Probably the next day, he ended up texting me and he's just like, hey, what's up? How are you? You know, just usual small talk stuff. And then we actually set a date to, you know, go out to eat, get to know each other more, you know, everything's cool. So we decided to go to a Mexican restaurant that was like a couple minutes from my house. We meet up at the Mexican place and the food was actually pretty good. So we got to talking and he was asking me just like about myself and, you know, complimenting me. I was just asking him stuff about himself. So then, you know, of course we get onto the astrology conversation. So he's asking me what my sign is, what my birthday is. And then I ask him. So then he's like, oh, well, see if you can guess what I am. Something in me told me, Leah, This man is a Gemini. And anybody who knows me knows that I have a history with Geminis. I try to, stay away from them in the dating department because, I haven't had, the best experience with them. As friends, like they're really cool. But as far as like a dating partner for myself, I try to, avoid that. He was like, yeah, like see if you can guess what I am. And I was like, I don't know. I was just throwing out different signs, just like praying it wouldn't be Gemini. So then he's like, oh yeah, my birthday is June. I want to say he said like June 10th or whatever. So obviously like it fell within like the Gemini range. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're a Gemini. So he's like, yeah, I am. I like to be funny, like when I like go on first dates and like when I meet people. So I was acting like I was grabbing my stuff to go leave. And as the night goes on, I soon found out that I should have actually grabbed my stuff and left because this man was crazy. We'll get to that. We will get to that. So I'm like, oh my God, like here we go again. So at that point I knew like this can't go any further than friendship. You're a Gemini. I can't, like I genuinely cannot. I told him that and I was like, yeah, like my ex was a Gemini. I really don't want to, repeat old habits, anything like that. So yeah, of course he was, defending his sign as they like to do. Like, yeah, like we're really loyal though. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that, but it's definitely like two people. So sometimes I don't know who I'm gonna get, and dealing with a romantic partner, I don't have time for that. I dealt with it for 8 years, like I'm good. He did actually vibe, and he starts telling me like he's really like into numerology and the number 7 and all these different things. And I'm just like, okay. Me personally, like I don't get really into all that stuff. Like the most I'll do is what's your sign. I've dealt with different people of different signs, so I know enough to like know their characteristics and personality traits, things like that. But that's really as far as it goes for me. I don't live my life by, the zodiac or anything. So yeah, he's like, I'm really into the number 7, and I really think that it's so cool that your birthday's on the 18th because 8 minus 1 is 7. And I'm just like, okay. Anyway, the vibe is good. I'm having a good time. I think I got one drink. I usually don't like to drink as I'm like eating a big meal. I noticed that he wasn't eating anything. He ended up getting like 3 drinks, and I was like, you're not gonna order anything? And he's like, no, like I'm not really hungry. I just really want the drinks or whatever. But you eat, you go ahead. And I should have like paid more attention to that because like honestly, like I've never been on a date where the guy didn't eat anything. So I didn't make a big deal out of it. I was like, all right, cool. So I had got like enchiladas and I think like a pina colada, and I was good. At this time, we're wrapping up the date. We're about to leave. So as we're still talking, getting to know each other a little bit more. He gets a call from his friend, and his friend is inviting him to a party. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever. I'll just head home. No big deal. So then he gets off the phone and he's like, hey, do you want to come to this party with me? I was like, no, I'm okay. Obviously, I'm not gonna know anybody there. I'm kind of tired. I really, don't feel like being around a bunch of people that I really don't know. I barely know you, so I'm good. Then he's like, oh, okay, well, I really wasn't trying to go home or anything. Like, what do you want to do something after this? And I'm just like, that's fine. We can go back to my place. Mistake number 1. What type of time was I on back then? Like, I was tripping. I was like, yeah, we can go back to my place. Like, I literally live like 3 minutes from here. So, whatever. We can just hang out and chill. So he's like, okay, cool. I'm telling this story to possibly help somebody in the future. Like, don't be like me. No matter how good the vibe is. So yeah, we go back to my place and we start drinking a little bit more because I always, kept a little bit of liquor at my house. So we're taking shots, chilling, vibing. So then he brings up this party again. He's like, oh yeah, like you really don't want to go to the party? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. You're good. Then he's like, oh, well, if you don't want to go, do you mind giving me a ride? I'm like, huh? It threw me off a little bit, and I was like, number 1, I just thought it was kind of weird. And number 2, like I was, very drunk at that point. So I was in no condition to drive anybody anywhere. So I was just like, yeah, like I'm pretty drunk. But you can, like, if you don't feel comfortable driving, like you can call an Uber. You can like leave your car here at my place. Like, I don't mind. And he literally, and like I said, the Gemini with the 2 personalities, he literally like switched. When I said, no, I'm not taking you to this party, he was like, wait, so you're not gonna take me? No, I just told you I'm drunk. Like, I've literally been sitting here with you for the past hour and a half drinking. Like, no, I'm not driving anywhere. So he's like, oh, wow. that's really crazy. That's what's up. Like, y'all Delaware people are real different. If it was you, I would do it for you. That's really selfish, and I can't believe that you're not gonna take me to this party. So I'm like, huh? At this point, like, I'm still drunk. I don't realize what's going on. Like, I'm laying on my couch just in another world still. Like, I'm trashed. So I start laughing, and I'm just like, obviously he's kidding, right? He's not really gonna get mad at me because basically a girl that he barely knows isn't gonna drive him somewhere. Like, there's no way. So I'm laughing. I'm like, oh my God, you're so funny. So then he gives me this look, like he wanted to like kill me. And he's like,
it's really not funny. I'm not laughing.
So then at this point, I'm like, okay, obviously Ashton Kutcher's gonna pop out because clearly I'm being punked. Like, there's no way that this is happening to me right now. Still super drunk, still can't, my mind is still not, you know, putting the round peg in the round hole. At this point, he's getting turned up. Like, he's really upset at me. So he's still going on and on about how selfish I am and how he just can't believe that I really won't give him a ride to this party. So at this point, I'm like, okay, Leah, sober up. Number one, sit up. Sit up. I started to connect the dots in my head, like, oh, he's really upset. At this point, I'm getting concerned, and I'm just like, wait, like, you're really mad? And he's like, yes, I'm pissed. I took you to dinner out of the kindness of my heart. I bought you food. I paid for your meal. I didn't have to do that. I spent money out of my pocket. And I was like, you asked me out. Like, are you kidding? I really think like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like, there's no way that this is real. I was like, sir, if it's that serious, I will cash out you for my meal. Like, it's, mind you, we went and got Mexican. Like, you get a lot of food for cheap. By the end of the night, like, the bill came to like $45. Obviously, in that moment, it clicked to me like, oh, he's broke. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Everybody gets broke sometimes. Like, but you shouldn't be trying to date if you know you don't have money to do that. You're pressing me over, what, $20? Something is wrong. And mind you, the majority of the bill came from his drinks because I only had one drink and then a meal that only cost like $8. So yeah, at that point, I'm like, yo, you're tripping. I'm not your girlfriend. Like, why are you acting like this? When I tell you guys, I must have hit a nerve when I said that to him. It's like his head spun around. Like, he was like,
oh, wow, like you're drawing right now. You're really drawing. Like, why are you throwing that in my face?
And I'm like, throwing what in your face? And I'm not your girlfriend? I'm not. I literally just met you on like Tuesday. So he's like, okay, I see what's going on. That's what's up. Y'all Delaware people are real different. Y'all real different. Like I said, if it was me, I would do it for you. But now I see what's up. Now I see how to handle you. I'm just like, so see you? You going to the party or not? For some reason, like, as this was still going on, like, I still was like willing to like let him, like, number one, he's still at my house. I'm still going back and forth with this crazy broke guy. That's how drunk I was, because sober me would have been like, you can leave. I'm super drunk, and I'm like, I had the time to go back and forth with him over straight up nonsense. And I know how they say, like, they tell women to not go home with guys that they just met. That's also the same for guys too. Like, guys, y'all need to be safe too. Like I said, we barely know each other. I'm inviting him back to my place, and he's actually coming there. I could have been a psycho, serial killer, your local neighborhood maniac. I could have very well been the hash-slinging slasher. You never know. Like, people are crazy. Basically, after going back and forth for maybe like 5 more minutes, he storms out. So he's like, yeah, I'm out, I'm leaving. So I'm like, okay, well, be safe. I literally did not know what to say. I didn't know what to do at this point. As soon as I hear the door close, I immediately hop on the phone and call my friend. I'm like, yo, bitch, you will never guess what just happened to me. Like, I swear to you, I cannot make this up. What just happened to me? So I tell her what happened. She's like, Leah, stop. I'm like, girl, I had told her about him like when we first met at school. So she's like, wait, this is the guy you met the other day? I'm like, yes, this is him. Like, he's crazy. He's a nut job. As we're on the phone, he's calling me. So I was like, hold on, girl, real quick. Like, he's calling me. Let me see what this crazy person has to say. Any other time, I would have just hit ignore and blocked him. I click over with him, and I'm like, hello, and he's like, hey, what you doing? Nothing. So he was like, can I come back over? And I was like, wait, what? Like he's really trying to pretend like what just happened didn't happen. Like he didn't just flip out on me. Like he didn't just storm out of my apartment. It was a mess. I was trifling too because guess what I said? Yeah, you can come back over. Within maybe like 10 minutes, he's back at my house and he's like, yeah, we need to talk. And I'm just like, okay. I'm starting to sober up. Obviously my judgment is still cloudy because I let this man right back into my home. So he's like, yeah, like I just think that the whole thing was just a misunderstanding and I just need for you to just not say that kind of stuff. Okay. I don't see how it was a misunderstanding. Like it seemed like you really got upset because I wasn't willing to give you a ride. Number one, I barely know you. Number two, I was drunk. Like I'm literally still drunk right now. So he's like, okay, well, we can just agree to disagree. I don't know what to think. I don't know what else to say to this young man. I must have really been lonely that night because he ended up staying the night. I think for the rest of the night, like we watched movies or something. Like I said, like we had a really good connection. So I guess that was enough for me to ignore what happened. Yeah, that to this day, like I still cannot believe that happened and that I put up with it. And what made it worse was like, I think I saw him another like one or two times. And my friends told me like, Leah, you really do like drama because there's no way the whole evening was just nonsense. What was I going through? I did end up blocking him or he ended up stealing my t-shirt. Like one of my favorite shirts, and I showed it to him. I let him stay the night again and I woke up the next morning and my shirt was gone. At that point, I was like, I'm done. Delete my number. I blocked him immediately. Clearly you're broke. You're stealing from women. It's giving insufficient funds and I can't do it anymore. And I'm not one to judge people off their financial situation because my financial situation hasn't always been the greatest. But if you're blatantly like stealing from people, yeah, like you have a problem and you need to work on yourself. And clearly I need to work on myself too if I'm letting this type of behavior around me. But yeah, so that's what happened. Be careful guys because dating is crazy. Yeah, so if you guys like this video, please give me a like, comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I post any new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for your support and I will see you guys in the next video.